Today we look at another key to success, taking responsibility for your actions. And in this podcast, we'll talk about what does it mean to play offense and why should we. Welcome to the Rodney podcast. Take responsibility. Okay, so in high school, after I got my license, I had tons of freedom. I mean, being able to not wait for rides to and from school, to work, and home was great. I took myself to school, took myself to work, took myself home, allowed me to work late nights, allowed me to close shifts at night, allowed me to wake up early and go do my paper route by just driving the route. And so I had large areas that normal people couldn't have unless you were older and wanted to do it. So I could afford all the things I wanted from my car. As I mentioned in my previous podcast, Keys to Success 22. But this freedom also let me do one thing that wasn't so good, right? Let me sleep in. Let me skip my first period class a lot. And I thought I was sleeping in maybe once in a blue moon, right? I thought maybe I was just missing like every couple of weeks I would miss a class, maybe. But when I got called in by my instructor, and this was band. That was my first class, right? My junior year in high school, year 11. And so he called me in and he showed me that I probably missed, when he looked at it, it was maybe like 28 out of the past 45 days. It was a lot, right? And then he noticed that I went to all my other classes. So it was just his class that I was missing. Come on, I was tired, right? I had a lot to do. So we talked for a little bit and he decided that the way to handle this was I would have to make up 28 days during the lunch hour, where I would go to the band room and do whatever, homework or whatever it may be, eat lunch and do homework, right? And it was towards the end of the year, right? The school year was closing. It was springtime. I had my license. We had an open campus. I can go out to campus for lunch. I did not want to spend 28 days in there. So what I did was I showed up to one and then soon realized this was not for me and I did not go back. And so when the report card came out, I figured he would drop my grade, but I got an A in the class. And, I did notice that at the end of the year, what we do is we compete against each other. I was in drumline, but each instrument had a section, what they call a section leader. And so it was my senior year. It was my time to be a section leader, just like I was when I was in 8th grade in junior high school. But it didn't happen. And in fact, not only was I not section leader, I was not in the highest band, which was first period. I was in the next highest, which is fourth period. So what did I do? I dropped the class. So we went through the summer, and the day before school started my senior year, my band instructor called my mom. And he had told her that he put me back in the top band in first period. So first day of school, I'm walking up to him and he stops me and he says he wanted to talk to me. And he says that he put me in the fourth period band because he figured I would show up at that time. And I think what I did when I dropped the class is I think I called his bluff. Because I think what was going to happen is he wanted me to hem and haw and, pout and be sad and sorrowful. Maybe he might leave me in the fourth period for a few weeks and then move me back up later. But when I just quit without a word, I think he quickly put me back. It's not a good thing, though, because I never really had to take responsibility. I did lose section leader, but to be honest, by senior year, I was just done with, I had already quit marching band my sophomore year. But I was kind of like half and half with band. It was, I could do it or I could not, I was burnt out from all the years of band. But anyway, that's what today's podcast is about, taking responsibility. And that's one of my stories when I should have been held responsible and I wasn't. Welcome to the Rodney podcast.
What's up, guys? This is Travis Yance with TravisYanceFitness.com, creator of the Alpha Fitness Program, and you're listening to the Rodney O Podcast, the Alpha of podcasts.
Okay, today's podcast is being recorded in February of 2019, and it's part of a daily month-long series titled Keys to Success. And today's key is all about taking responsibility for your actions. And as you can tell from my story, we're living in a society where everyone is the victim, right? We love the victim mentality. We grew up being protected by our parents, and now we don't know how to take disappointment. What do you mean I can't get into this school, right? Get the parents and complain with that college you cannot get into, right? What do you mean I can't be the lead singer in the church band? Well, have mama write a letter, bashing the decision. And meanwhile, all the other people did instead of being honest was just turn your volume down when you were up there. And that's why you couldn't hear yourself. We can't take disappointment. We saw all those years on American Idol, right? I've seen parents walk in to places of business with their teenager asking for applications. And I understand you want to force them to get a job. But if I'm the boss, why would I hire someone that doesn't even want to be there? Like if you're so unmotivated and your parents are forcing you and they bring you in there to get an application with you standing there looking just embarrassed, disgusted, and angry, I don't know that your chances will be that great that I would take a chance on you. See, when we want something, we want it handed to us. I run these ads on Facebook for my real estate, Trinity Real Estate, trinitycal.com. That's trinitycal.com. And, I sold a home and I advertised that if anybody else wanted a home and interested in buying, leave me a message. We just sold one in the neighborhood, those type of things. Very effective on Facebook. And so one of the comments that came in complained and said, oh, it's too much. All you care about is your money. It's like, wow. Well, one, this isn't true. I mean, yes, of course. Do we want money? Yes, of course. Do I want my commission? Yes, of course. But it was also a process to get this person into a home that they desired. And that was the goal, working with them and getting paid for a service. What a concept, right? Number two is I don't determine market value. The value of a property is determined by supply and demand. Simple business, right? I can't simply just sit there and say, I care about my money, so I'm going to make it more expensive than anybody can afford, except for that millionaire who happens to live 60 miles away in San Francisco or Silicon Valley, and they'll come all the way out here and buy it, right? I just can't simply do that. That wouldn't work. So we just help set the price. That's number three, is I don't set the price. We tell the owner based on our analysis and experience what we think it will sell for and give our reasoning and data. And the owner of the property determines if they agree or not, if they want to go higher or lower. There's options for them. So it's just funny that people would complain and say that it's too expensive, so I'm the victim. You see, I think people just have the wrong mindset. I know many people who desire a place to live, right? They desire to buy a house. And you know what they do? They go make it happen. They improve their financial situation, or they find an area that's affordable, or they save their money, or whatever it may be. They make it work and don't play the victim. They don't sit there and say, why are they charging so much? They don't need to. They don't need all that money, which is a whole nother podcast, a whole nother mind frame of telling somebody else that has something of value that they don't need that value. I can go off on a tangent. I just see people just complain, right? The victim mentality. Because the truth is this. Successful people take responsibility for their actions. They play offense. You may ask, what does that mean? Well, let me break it down for you. First thing you want to do is you want to put it in your head that no one owes you anything. When you really think about that and put that in your mind, then you can start controlling your actions. It's what I call playing offense. Instead of reacting to everything happening to you, you're going out and making things happen, right? Nobody owes you anything. Stop waiting for them to give you something. Number two, the thing I want to break down for you is, remember, this is a Gary Vee thing, but everything is your fault, right? Everything is your fault. And you may say, but not everything is. But when you have that mindset, it's a mindset, right? When you have that mindset, it allows you to play offense once again and control things. Let me give you an example. And I've said in different podcasts, every job I've had, I've been asked to leave. And not all of them were my fault. I think none of them were, but, there's one that's arguably my fault. Had to get that word out. But I take it and say, I did not show how valuable I was. Had I shown how valuable I was, this would have never happened. So guess what? No more. I'm going to go and show everybody my value from here on out. And it allows me to play offense, and it allows me to do things like podcasts and YouTube because I'm playing offense and taking control. And so that is the main third point. Play offense for the rest of your life. Get it in your mind to take control. Go out there, do what you need to do. Take responsibility for everything that happens to you and realize that you are in control and control your own life. Well, with that, please feel free to dialogue with me. My YouTube channel, Rodney O, is available to you guys, and it has a weekly vlog, Rodney O Weekly, and that vlog will show that I am living what I speak. Please be sure to subscribe to that channel. The link is in the podcast description, or you can simply go to YouTube and search Rodney O Weekly. Remember, guys, I want to inspire, encourage, and motivate all of you as we navigate this journey that we call life. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you guys in the next one.